I'm David Priest, the Metal Priest, here for themetalpriest.com and themetalonslaught.com. You get a twofer with two different magazines.
All right. Yeah.
And we've got Human Code.
Hey guys.
Everybody say hi.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
So I'm going to be jumping
Aloha.
around with different questions, kind of all over the place because it's just off the top of my head, and I'm sure there's a million questions that I can ask, and I won't get the time to do it, but I'll do the best I can at getting to the core of the matter. So, first of all, tell us about Human Code. This is the name. I mean, is there a story behind the name, or you just guys thought it sounded cool? There's a lot of bands out there like, that sounds cool, man. They just go through a dictionary. Hey, yeah, let's go with that one. It means absolutely nothing. Is there a meaning behind the name?
I guess I'll answer that because I don't say I came up with it, but I kind of did. But here's how it happened: is we try to be a democracy as much as possible in Human Code. So we all were shooting out names via text, and 2 guys would like this one, 2 guys would hate it, 3 guys would like that one, and we just kept throwing names back and forth. Finally, I think I threw out like Human Code, something code, and then I said Human Code, and then that's the one where we all agreed, I think, at the same time. Oh yeah, that's cool. I think that's how it kind of like, yeah, let's go with that one because we all agreed. So it's, again, going back to the whole democracy thing. So the meaning behind it, Mike, you're.
It's kind of like the DNA, really, that God gives a person when a person belongs to God. It's kind of different DNA in a way than somebody who doesn't know God. That's what I think it means.
I actually look at it more along the lines as God is the author of our DNA, regardless Christian or not. And man is actually trying to impose with that, with stem cell research and just the whole gender assignment and all that. I mean, that's God doesn't make mistakes like that. And for people to say that God made a mistake, I was supposed to be a man, or I was supposed to be a woman, but I was born the opposite. That's a straight attack on God. And God is not the author of confusion. He's the author of good, and they're trying to make God either non-existent, and it just happened by chance that I was born incorrectly, or they're straight out assaulting God in the sense where like God made a mistake, like he's a dummy that messed up,
Yeah, I can have my own interpretation as well, right? So we all do, right?
Cool.
But for me, I think Human Code, when it all comes together, I mean, as humans, we do have a code to live by, right? And that would be the law that we have. Now, we're not under the law, as we know, because we've been set free through the blood of Jesus. But as humans, if we can live by a code, right, of the 10 Commandments, we wouldn't have a lot of the crap that we do today, right? And that's, we've lost that. That's kind of my thing.
So it sounds like, I mean, obviously it's a reflection of where our current world is at this point. I love the planes, right?
This is live, man.
Yeah.
Straight after rehearsal,
And,
here we are.
You guys kind of come across, in saying that, as a bit politically minded, which isn't very popular in certain circles, especially when it comes to Christians. A lot of Christians believe that politics should remain outside of Christianity. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Ooh, I think you could open a can of worms with that one.
That's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, right?
I think you certainly can.
Yeah. Well, I personally, I think that the way our country and society has gone, it's just, like George was saying, it's just gotten out of hand. I mean, it really has. And so, yeah, we're going to stand, I'm going to stand, I should say. I'm going to stand for everything I believe in, and I'm standing for what the Word of God tells us, exactly what George was talking about. Man's a man, a woman's a woman, and everything else that goes along with it. So I'm sorry, or I'm not sorry, I should say. So yeah, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, and that's what I teach my family and my kids, and just
I heard that somewhere.
I can do it.
I heard that.
Also, we believe in what our founding fathers believed when they set up this country where we're in right now, the United States. They set up this country to be free from tyranny, basically. They fled Europe so that they could have freedom to work and live and worship as they choose. And that's pretty much all that patriots want is freedom to be left alone. We don't want big government. We want, as long as we don't hurt anybody, we want to be free.
It's pretty simple. You look at what's going on. The extreme left, their goal is to attack the family, attack God, take God out of. I mean, prayer. It's almost like they're making Christians the bad people now, and they're trying to become their own version of God but again, attacking God, attacking the family. I think their ultimate goal is to dismantle the family, and then they can take control, so to speak. And we're not letting that happen. At least not in our lives.
Todd, do me a favor, turn around real quick. I want you to show the back of the shirt. This is one of our songs that we're releasing. It's called Socially Incorrect, and I am socially incorrect. I think most people actually really like this and would rather wear it almost in the front than the back. But this is really cool because if you're in line somewhere, Disneyland, something like that, I was going to look at that. And thank you, Todd. And so to answer your question, are we political or not? We don't necessarily. Anybody who says, I hate that term, oh, we can't discuss religion and politics. Well, why not? I mean, who takes those discussions off the table? Who made you God and king? If you want to talk about politics and religion, by all means talk about it. I mean, only cowards don't want to talk about it. And I know I just ruffled some feathers there, but too bad. We are, if we bring up politics, I mean, I'll let Michael kind of talk about what those lyrics are about, but it's a song where we're not following the mainstream with their idiotic ways. We're not part of that cult. We have not just a human code, but we have a code that we live by. It's called the Holy Bible, and not to be preachy here, because no one likes a guy that gets on the soapbox and just starts pointing out at them. We're not about that. We're about just kind of standing up for what we believe, and I think right now it's kind of important to stand up, because if you don't, like Terry said, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. And today's society, the young people are starting to fall for some really bad stuff. So, Mike, what are the lyrics about in Socially Incorrect?
Well, we basically stand for God, family, and country, and really for our freedoms. Standing up for our freedoms, that's really what Socially Incorrect is all about. Because the mainstream is constantly shoving down everybody's throat to do a certain agenda that's completely anti-freedom. They want control. They want power over the people. They want to have big government, actually, even more and more big government to control the people. And we want the exact opposite. We want to be left alone. And as long as we don't hurt anybody, we want to be left alone. And that's being socially incorrect as far as the mainstream goes.
We're not buying into cancel culture. We're not woke.
By no
We're the
means.
opposite of woke. And it's sad seeing what the media, what the far left, what all in cahoots, and then big companies, Google, Yahoo, Facebook, they're controlling all these media outlets.
The narrative.
The narrative. But I think there's a large percentage of us, call it the silent majority, who know exactly what's going on, and we're anti-woke.
We're
We're
rising.
socially incorrect.
We're
Socially
rising.
incorrect.
And George, you mentioned the young people today, but a lot of the older people are jumping ship and switching sides and changing their perspective on things, talking about the woke churches and that whole mentality out there. What are your thoughts about just, people who, like, I read something today, like from a particular denomination who's like been around for, hundreds of years, and now they're like changing their whole way of looking at things, and they've got bringing homosexuals in and having a lesbian pastor and getting less of the Bible and more of what this society is embracing.
I think you're talking about the Methodist Church. I believe.
Yeah.
To answer your question, we're here in the San Fernando Valley right now, rehearsing, and we're pretty much, most of us are from here, but I currently reside in Nashville. So and I'm out here to rehearse and to do some business. But I bring that up because I thought I was moving to a red state. And my community where I live, I am shocked by all the older people that are like woke and like politically correct, and that are just like one. You know, we have a post in our community because it's called Jackson Hills, and there's a Facebook page for it. And if anybody puts anything that's conservative, I mean, they get attacked. I've gotten attacked on that page. So has my friend Ray, and it's just like I'm going, are you kidding me? I thought I moved to Tennessee to a red state. And you're right. There's a lot of people that are older or millennials, Generation X. They're all kind of jumping ship. You know why though? I think a lot of them are jumping ship because they're afraid. If they don't jump ship, they're going to be labeled a racist, intolerant, whatever. You know, anybody who's like a Trumpite. I mean, even as far as the White House, he said, what did he say about anybody who's a MAGA, a Trump person? That they're not what Hillary said, deplorable, but something along the lines. Our president caused that division recently. I wish I had the exact quote, but it was a divisive. In other words, separating people who
Something
believe
like traitors,
something really bad. And I read, I go, are you kidding me? And they're calling themselves the party of unity. No, they're labeling anybody who's conservative as bad. Bottom line, they put them all in one basket and labeled them bad. And then a lot of people, I think, are jumping ship going, yeah, we better join this woke movement because they're the right movement. But we obviously know it's not.
So coming from the perspective that you are, as far as, you know, as individuals, as a band, lyrically, your religious beliefs, political beliefs and such, there's bound to be fallout from that. Are you guys prepared for the repercussions that are going to be thrown back at you for making this stand?
Bring it on,
Yeah,
right?
bring it.
Bring it.
But yeah, I mean, you know,
Bring it on.
We stand for what we stand for. We're not a boat being tossed to and fro in the ocean, right? We know what we stand for. We know who we stand for. We know what we believe in. We know who we believe in. And you know what? You can't change that. And we see that, you know, within, you know, as we read God's word, we are going to, as believers and Christians, are going to come under attack. And we're going to see people that are jumping ship. And it's just the way it is. And so I don't think we're cowards here. As a matter of fact, I know we're not. We stand for the Word of God and what we believe in. That's it.
And we believe in the Constitution.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Now, up to this point, you know, people would be like, what's this all about? You know, where are these guys? Who are they? They're like politicians, they're pastors or what? No, you're actually a rock band, right? Well, whether you're metal or not, that's a matter of personal opinion, I guess, at this point, because some would consider you metal, not. But as far as the vehicle of music that you're using, and you guys are all have tenure with former bands, and you've been doing this for decades. How is it that Human Code fits in today? You feel it, obviously you feel it's relevant, and you have a means of communicating, but do you feel like this is going to be an efficient way, or is it more about just sharing music, or are you actually trying to get across in your lyrics and hope people embrace it? I mean, what's your
Just being who we are. Just, you know, this is what's in our hearts.
That's a good honest
Music is our
answer.
passion.
I don't think there's quite an agenda, like we want to convert the world to being conservative or anything like that, because A, it's not going to happen. B, that's kind of, you know, if we really want to do that, then I think we should run for office.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
That's not it. But you know what? I think for us, as like you said, it's just men standing up for our families, communities, our state. We've got, you know, we want to be real, raw, relevant, and hopefully get results. But yeah, we don't have an agenda that we're pushing. So
Cool. Right on. So you guys, like I mentioned, as far as musically, you're all from former bands, all have a lot of tenure in that, and you're older. You're still doing it as a passion, and you know, what are your expectations as far as getting out? You were talking inside about getting some gigs, and I mean, how far do you want to take this? What do you got an album in the works, obviously, which is
We're almost finished.
really, you've been saying that for what?
No,
a
for-
year now?
It'll be done
Year
by
and
the
a
end of the
half?
year.
I keep hearing.
By the end
for
of
sure,
the,
for sure.
yeah, sometime in 2022.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I think, have band will travel. So we just, getting things prepared, and we want to get out and start playing again.
Pay you pizza tours. Yeah, we're good with
Yeah.
And who?
Mike's going, no, we're not.
Is there a specific audience that you're, going after, or do you feel like you have an audience that you just have to discover out there, or is it open season for
Whoever's
you?
whoever is touched by our music, basically.
Anybody.
Okay.
I think we have stuff that even grandmas will like, we have a song called 40 Seconds. It's really like nice. You just heard us doing just a piano, a cappella, thing almost, with piano and vocals, and it's almost like Tony Bennett type stuff,
We want to make a video where we're all knitting a sweater at the same time.
Yeah. But so we what I like about this band is we decided from the get-go that we were going to be a no boundaries band, like in other words, musically, of course. Or if we want to write a ballad, we write a ballad. If we want to write a heavy song, we write a heavy song. If we want to write a commercial pop song, we write a commercial pop song. There's no real there's nothing that no, dude, that's kind of doesn't fit us. I think if we have a blues song, well, it's okay. If we have a 70s sounding song, it's okay. That's I think what we want to kind of go after in this band. Just do whatever we feel right now. And as a writer, that's kind of freeing because I'm not constrained to just write a certain style,
Okay. So I did get to go back to Ohio to the Immortal Fest and caught your guys' gig there. And is the cat out of the bag? Are you guys playing it next year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because you're hearing a lot of rumors. I mean,
As far
this
as we
person's
know.
playing, no confirmations, and they say these are confirmed, and then you read another thing and not so. But as far as you know, you guys are playing.
Yeah, it might be a different festival with a different name by the same promoter, but that's in the works right now.
Okay. Yeah, I know they're still doing something in July too.
That's the one we're probably going to end up doing.
That's
Yeah.
the July one? Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys did a song, and forgive me because it's all new. I don't remember which song it was, the title of it anyways, but you prefaced it with about an astronaut that went into space
Mm-hmm.
and didn't come back. What's the name of that song?
It's called 40 Seconds.
It is 40 Seconds. Okay, I thought it was that one. So that's an interesting thing because I just have to share the story. So you guys did a number of covers, like 3 covers or whatever in your set. And I know you guys got some different feedback, and a lot of people thought you did a lot more than that. And they were kind of upset about it. But the one thing that, and then talking with different people that they were a little upset about, is that they thought you were going to do a particular cover when you introduced that song.
Really?
Yeah. Everybody standing. I was in the photo pit, and we're all like, "Really? It's about an astronaut that goes into space and doesn't come back.
Bowie does that.
They're gonna do Bowie, really?
Space
It's
Odyssey.
it's a totally different story, but same
No,
premise.
everybody was looking at each other, going, "Yeah, cool, Bowie." Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
that was
funny.
kind of, we're like, yeah, that's kind of been done.
Wait a minute.
That's what we do. We surprise people.
Wait. So people, and who cares
Right.
what we share here? Some people were upset about
They were
what?
mad that she played so many covers. But
I never
then-
heard that.
Yeah, that just.
But you obviously heard it.
Yeah, I asked a bunch of people around. It's like that.
What's her name and
so-
numbers? 'Cause I want to talk. I'm just kidding. Seriously, what didn't they like? I mean, not that
No,
we're
it
like.
was just they were really surprised. I can't believe they played half their set was covered.
No, that's not true. We played 3 covers.
Right.
And I think we
like
played 10
they're,
songs.
they're padding it.
Yeah.
But then the one song that they were hoping that you would play, you didn't play as a cover. And they're like, oh, they didn't do Bowie, but they did all these other ones.
That's awesome.
Uh,
We're good at throwing a twist. on
Everybody's gonna have their own take on things. And all that.
What'd you think when we did Vertigo? Was that cool?
I didn't even know. I mean, I kind of knew the song, but she would probably know it.
That's a
more than that.
U2 song, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to play, by the way, live.
But yeah, I wasn't familiar with it, so maybe I thought it was one of yours.
Yeah,
anyways.
probably. Hey, it's somebody's.
That's the best song you guys
It's,
did.
it's somebody's original song.
You
So
guys
it's somebody-
found that's your hit right there, man.
Oh, my God.
Hey, but then a lot of bands do covers and it ends up being their hit. Look at Disturbed just did Sounds of Silence.
Yeah.
That was like the single on And that kind of almost put them in the mainstream for the most part. Everybody was listening to that in the mainstream.
Yeah.
Five Finger Death Punch has a cover that they're playing all the time now
Yeah.
too.
No, really?
Yeah, I mentioned it
forget
to.
what it is, but
Yeah, I mentioned it to a number of the guys I play with at times too, and I'm like, look, some band, going back and way back in the day, Quiet Riot, made their name on a cover, and Van Halen made their name on doing covers. So.
look at Shinedown. They do Simple
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, a lot of, yeah.
So I'm not bothered. If somebody doesn't like
Yeah.
covers, I don't care. It doesn't, if I like it, I like it. These guys like it, they like it. Great. Why not?
I still want their numbers on.
I'll tell you off the record. Get someone in trouble. Like, I'm be my ex-friends now. You tell them that. Call me out on that. Sure. So, that's funny. Okay, so we're gonna get a little silly and stupid here. She told me to be nice, but I'm gonna be nice. So, Mike, I just gotta say, man, it's nice to meet you again.
Yes.
Every time I meet this guy, and you're not far behind, it's like, hey, I'm Mike. Dude, I know.
Who are you again? Yeah.
I've only met you and hung out literally a couple dozen times over the years, and the most recent was at his birthday party, back in April. And you're like, yeah, I'm Mike. I'm like, really? But you seem to be that way with anybody. So do you have some brain damage there? Forgive people.
Well, I did like Lucky
Selective-
Charms when I was young.
Okay. That's what it
It's
is.
got selective memory.
Right. Yeah. And
It's got to be the hair, Dave. It's got to be the hair.
Is it? The hair.
Yeah, looks good.
And then
I grew my hair long to make room for my brain, so I'm better
Yes,
now.
well, there you go.
Yeah.
you're the only long hair left. Well, Todd cut his off. He goes back and forth.
Yeah, it's going long again.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
What's the one look like a loser?
20, 24. Yeah. Well, that's why he keeps cutting it, because George gives him crap for it all the time.
Yeah.
You look better with a cut.
See, you can tell there's love within this band, right?
Well, I've only known Todd for, how long? 30 years?
Coming up on 30.
30
Yeah.
years.
And then you guys come out dressed like you're playing a wedding party, and with the
That was nice.
What we did, we actually were going to a dinner party right after that, so we figured we would just do the both.
This guy, well, he's got a dozen different clothing
Outfits.
changes. He
Outfits.
just keeps peeling layers off. Cracks me up. I'm like, wait.
That's funny.
Makes it really difficult because I end up getting more photos of you than anybody else because I got to get every outfit in there.
Yeah,
It's like he's stealing the light from you guys, man. You guys got to one up him on that.
Singers
He's
usually
the
do.
front man.
So that's all right. I
We got your back, literally.
I don't care.
Isn't it Def Leppard just came out with the video? They're
Yeah,
all
they got
wearing
all their suits.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
That's
obviously
right.
they watched our show. I remember.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We
They got
influenced
an
them.
idea from
We
that.
influenced Def
That's
Leppard.
Yeah, that's right.
I think you
Right.
guys should all come out with at least one show. Todd's not going to really matter in this one, but for the other three of you, come out with one of those old outfits. You got the blue and white. You get the one with the shoulder, soldier
Yeah.
stuff, and George comes out with all the zebra.
I've got it. I tried fitting into it. It doesn't quite fit the same anymore. My kids wear them though. Wear my clothes all the time.
Your Holy Soldier Club?
Yeah, they wear them for Halloween and events.
Yeah, that's funny.
That show.
I'm a loser 80s rocker.
I saw a band at the Universal Amphitheater one time, and the lead singer came out in pajamas.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's what he was wearing.
When I saw the singer to Rascal Flatts come out in sweats, I kind of went like, come on, dude. You can have a little more respect for your audience and come out in sweats, really? But whatever.
Well, maybe better than My Chemical Romance dude came out in a dress.
Yeah, well, that's another
You guys
issue.
don't wear dresses.
No dresses,
Seriously,
okay.
I mean, I think that would kind of clash with where you're.
That was
coming
really
from,
weird, but whatever.
And your
Yeah,
beliefs
whatever.
there.
Anyway.
Well, that's cool. So,
Is it getting dark on that film?
yeah, can you see it
You're
okay?
still illuminated.
So then you move out of the
It's-
light.
No.
Maybe we should get over
Starting
there.
to look like
No, you're
candlelight.
good. You're good.
No.
Or maybe I should move there and we move there. I don't know. Whatever.
Well,
So, a little bit more musical, and then I'm going to go back to the theology thing. We'll finish it up because I'd sit here and talk to you guys all night long
Yeah.
about all
I think
kinds of
you gotta
stupid
go.
things. And you guys got
It's 6:45. We gotta go soon.
okay. So, musically, Mike. So, I've heard, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in this, but you have always been likened to Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden. I've heard you don't really like that.
I really don't care. I take it as a compliment anyway, because I think he's a good singer, but I don't think I sing much like him now. I think in the old days I might have, because when I go in the upper register, I may have a little bit of the same tonality in my voice, but I think my style in general is nothing like Bruce Dickinson at all.
Right.
Now.
Yeah. And I mean, it's actually, I had some friends over last night at my place, and we were actually listening to the first Barren Cross record. Literally had the record on the player there. And but we were like, he's like, it doesn't sound like Iron Maiden. I mean, I can hear the influence, but and I always thought, I don't know why you wouldn't embrace that, just own it. Like, who else can say they sound or similar to Bruce Dickinson?
Well, I would say back then, yeah.
Okay.
I was somewhat similar.
I watch you perform, and I hear it, and I can see just the looks, the expressions, the stage, and the voice at times, but you still have your own identity. That being said, I mean, this band doesn't sound like Iron Maiden. It doesn't sound like Deliverance or Holy Soldier or even Worldview. It's a very different thing. You guys are kind of, I mean, from that, and I know you've mentioned like talking about, not being into the shredding guitar stuff, so he gets to just kind of bow out on that, right? But are you trying to present a more modern sound as opposed to a vintage sound? I mean, it's like that's where you came from, and I mean, sometimes you can't escape that because you are who you are. But what are you guys trying to accomplish musically? I mean, are you
the band
steering away from that? Or?
The band has to evolve. I think it can't stay the same and stay stagnant and just play what you played 30 years ago. That's not interesting. You'll have a certain clientele that'll want to see you, but you have to progress. Like the Beatles in the mid '60s, they were singing "She Loves You, Yeah, Yeah, Yeah," but 4 years later, if they would still have been singing "She Loves You, Yeah, Yeah, Yeah," that kind of stuff, it would be boring. They progressed and they started doing some amazing stuff in the late '60s, right? And so that's pretty much the same kind of example, I'm saying. So
I would say we are looking to bring modern elements into our music, but we're not focused on doing that. But I think we all write whatever comes to mind. Like George said, we're not really confined to anything, but it is, in my opinion, good to incorporate some more modern tones and a more modern approach to what we're doing.
So at some point down the road, because I know George likes country and dance music, so you guys might have some of that.
No, Mike
to
hates
Nashville.
country. Mike hates country. But my 2 cents on that is when you keep saying modern music, there's a lot of bands that I like that are out now and that are really cool bands. And what I interpret as modern music, maybe somebody else doesn't interpret as modern music, but I think like some of the newer bands like Breaking Benjamin, which now they've been around for a while, Shinedown, Muse, Theory of a Dead Man. Those are all really good bands that are doing some really cool things with really cool tones and the not so disgusting side of Rammstein and all that. I mean they're just doing some really great stuff, and it's we just again we don't want any limitations here, and we want to be able to write and be relevant. Especially, we don't want kids to listen to us and go like, "Oh, that's the old man rock stuff. That's the stuff my parents listen to." We want to attract them too. So, and not so much just for the sake of attracting them. Again, we like these newer bands that are out. We like them. I like a lot of bands that are out right now.
we're trying to be fresh,
That's
fresh.
cool. Yeah, no, I mean it's a good thing, and you don't want to be stale for sure, right?
Yeah.
Nobody likes stale. So,
Exactly.
That's cool. So going back once again, I'm going to talk more theological type stuff because I know George and where he comes from, in that, and there's a lot of division within the body of Christ these days. I mean, different denominations, and we talk about the whole. Some of those churches are going into this whole woke mentality, and they're steering away from the gospel. And there's core beliefs that are there, but then there's also doctrine differences, and sometimes those differences mean a lot. And so I know George comes from like a reformed, worldview, Calvinist type thing.
Worldview.
Yeah, and that's really, I mean, he says that in Worldview, definitely, too. So this one, so far, I haven't picked up on a lot. I think you do more lyric writing with it within the band. So where are you guys coming from? And if you have differences where you just agree to disagree, or how does it work together?
I don't want to take up all the time because I want to let these guys talk to you, but let me just address that first.
Okay.
I think the important issue with anything, including other churches, and what separates that kind of non-Christians from Christians are some very, very key issues, like the salvation by grace, the Godhead, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, who Jesus is, that He's God. There's some real what we call central theology that's very important, and if we all agree on that, then we're good. But we're always gonna. I have differences with Terry. I'm sure Terry has differences with Todd. Todd has differences with me. We all have different. We're different people, and we all have different leanings. I don't want to get into any kind of like theological debate here because we do definitely come from some different worldviews, like you said. But I think the important thing is that we all know who Jesus is and what He did for us on the cross, and that He is God and that He's coming back again. And the real important things, that's where we can like hang our hat and like, okay, we're in harmony there. When it comes to other little things, it's what I don't think we need to get into right now. We're going to definitely have some differences, there's no question. And we already had, I don't want to say arguments in the band, but discussions and heated discussions. But okay, like I said, we don't need to get into that right now. I just think that we just have some core beliefs that we all share, and that's the basis of like why we like to get along.
The Bible, basically the Bible. We believe in the Bible.
Yeah.
We believe what Jesus Christ said and what he said needs to be done for salvation.
Well, guys, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. I'm really looking forward to this finished album. The demo that you guys put out, it's going to be way better than that, right? Because that was kind of...
Yeah, right.
You hear that?
Look at this. Really, dude?
Oh my gosh.
No, it's going to be great. And I appreciate you taking the time and talking with us. And we want to help spread the word and tell other people about you and
Very good.
get some gigs and stuff like that. So coming to a pizza parlor near you real soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Human
Go
Code.
play for pizza.
All right, thanks. Thank you.
Well, thank
Thank you,
you.
guys.
Yeah, thank you, Randy. Thank you.
Randy. John. Philip.
Yeah.
Okay.